Alright, Nerd Army, get ready. It's going to be a bumpy one today. As always, I'm Nerdy number 3, and I'm going to be doing a theory today on the movie 5 Feet Apart. This is truly an adorable yet sad romance movie that ends in such a horrible way. I personally don't like to accept the ending because I believe that they should have ended up together. However, the directors and producers believed otherwise, so I can't change it, even though I would love for it to be different. There are a lot of spoilers in this video, so please be advised. Let's just say that if The Fault in Our Stars taught us anything, it's that medical teens falling in love always ends in tragedy. This movie has us definitely reaching for the tissue box and using about half of it. I used around 5 at the end of the movie. So the movie is about these two CFers, or people with cystic fibrosis, that fall in love. However, the problem with that is that CFers can't be within 6 feet apart. Stella, a 17-year-old, decides that she wants to go closer to Will, who is impossibly charming and super handsome. So she decides, against her OCD tendencies, to break the rules and take back 1 foot from the disease that has controlled her all of her life, after the death of her best friend Poe. Poe used to tell her that she didn't make risks, so she decided that she would for her happiness, also for Poe and her sister Abby. However, this leads to her unhappiness, not in the way that you would think. Will and Stella leave the hospital and go to a frozen lake where she falls through the ice. Will tries to do CPR on her even though his bacteria is deadly and can transfer. Then she is found with Will, as they are both unconscious, and taken back to the hospital. She is given a lung transplant, and Will is stuck worrying if he passed on his bacteria. Stella doesn't get the bacteria, and Will decides that he should stay away from Stella for her safety and well-being. He gives her a few last gorgeous gifts, including making one of her childhood dreams come true. Stella was fascinated by the city lights, so he decided he would bring them to her. He tells her how much he loves her through the window, and how much he wishes that he could stay.
All I want is to be with you. I can't.
And he leaves as she sits alone in the hospital bed crying. And that's the end of the movie. And man, did this movie cause so many tears from so many people, especially me. So Nerdy, what is possibly theory worthy? I hear you, loyal nerd soldier. So let me explain what my theory is. I'm pretty sure that everyone is wondering what happens to Will after he leaves. Well, that's it. We don't know. And believe it or not, that's actually intentional. That is exactly why the director left us hanging like that, so that everyone makes up their own interpretation of what happened to him. What if I told you that one explanation is more likely than the others? It may be a bit more tragic, but it is scientifically more correct. What most likely happened is that Will died following 5 feet apart. What? Nerdy, no! He can't be dead. He seemed okay when he left. Yeah, well, it is the only scientifically correct explanation that makes sense. Will has cystic fibrosis, as I stated before, which is a rare lung disease that causes you to create more mucus, sweat, and digestive juices than the average person. It not only affects your lungs, but your digestive tract as well. It is hereditary and very hard, if not impossible, to recover from, without a transplant nor the necessary medications. And the type of CF that Will has causes a great chance of him dying and not being able to have a lung transplant. His treatments are proven to not be working, so of course he prepares himself for death. So does he die? Most likely. We last see Will walking away from Stella's window into the lights of the city that he made for her. Also, if you remember, Stella's nurse tries to transfer Will in the morning. So Will went to a new hospital to realize that his treatments will still not work, and died. Don't believe me? Watch these little details that cause my reaction to think that Will dies. First, the doctor says that his CF is getting worse and the treatment isn't helping it. Then realize that stress with any combination of any disease can cause worse side effects. Also, at the beginning, we see that Will has no intention to even keep up with his regimen. This is when Stella freaks out and forces him to. So if Will is a constant character, we can definitely assume that he stopped doing it at the new hospital, most likely due to depression of being separated from Stella. Also, as mentioned before, he couldn't have a lung transplant due to the severity of the type of CF that he has. So it is very likely that with the increase of stress, the type of character that he is, the type and severity of the CF that he has, and the fact that the treatments don't work, along with the fact that his health is deteriorating, Will dies after the ending of 5 Feet Apart. That is the most scientifically correct theory that can possibly happen to Will after the movie's ending. If you agree with this theory, even though you might not like it, give this video a like. You guys have been giving me a lot of support lately, and I appreciate it so much. So to wrap it up, Will gets transferred to another hospital. Then he becomes depressed and stressed and stops the habits he learned from Stella. After this, his treatments are still deemed ineffective, and his CF has gotten worse. Then he gives up on life, still not able to see Stella, and dies a month later. So did Will meet his demise after being transferred? Does his post-Stella depression cause his health to deteriorate? Or do I have this all wrong? Well, there's so many questions in so little time. Make sure to give someone a hug that you love because some people are less fortunate. Until next time, Nerd Army. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. Remember, my theories are just that, theories. Here's today's shout out. If you want a shout out, here's how to get one. Click the subscribe button, make sure to turn on your post notifications, and hit that like button. But don't forget to comment. Then boom, you will get a post notification shout out. See you later and remember to subscribe.